Hey, welcome everybody to the Placer County People podcast. This is Katrina Sawa, one of the co-founders of Placer County People. Eric Lofholm and I have started this to be a resource for the Placer County area, for people, for businesses, for organizations, kids, and anything and anyone that you want to highlight. There are opportunities for you to be a guest on our free Placer County podcast, highlighting local individuals, organizations, businesses, and events. We will interview you and showcase you out to our community because we believe in giving back. Our website, placercountypeople.com, also highlights local area events. You can submit your event anytime to our website, and on the Facebook community, it's a free group to share out what you've got going on and what other area residents and businesses need to know about you and your organization. Eric and I both live here in Placer County with our families, as well as we run our successful speaking and coaching businesses here, and we're very proud to be in the Placer County area. We want to highlight other local people in our community just as we get promotion and are spotlighted in our businesses. So that's why we do what we do here. Please check out placercountypeople.com. You can sign up to be a guest there on the show. You can submit your events there and even find more resources and events going on in Placer County. And so my business is jumpstartyourmarketing.com. I'm a business and marketing coach, and I love helping entrepreneurs make a lot more money doing what you love. That involves looking at what you're doing, big picture, all the way down to the nitty-gritty of strategies and marketing, your websites, all the little things that make your business a smooth-running, money-making machine. That's what I do, and you can find me at jumpstartyourmarketing.com with lots of great fun resources and free trainings. So I want to talk to you today about our guest. Our guest is Michael Rowe, and Michael is an amazing CFO slash he's called Mr. QuickBooks, and he is just really good with your finances and your business services, and he's been in business for a long time, and I've known Michael for many years in the area, and I want to introduce you to Michael. And Michael, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit more about what you do and how long you've been in business and all that good fun stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you, Katrina. One of the things that I think business owners miss is that really for them, bookkeeping and accounting should be about getting information. So that's what I focus on. For the CPAs, the accountants, often they want to get a financial statement, help you do your taxes. Not that those aren't important, but for the business owner, they should be secondary to getting information. There's an old farmer's proverb that says, good decisions come from experience, and experience comes from bad decisions. So what I want you to do is overcome those bad decisions with good ones so that you do get better results out of your accounting. So I focus on getting information out of your accounting function rather than just providing a financial statement.
Right, and this is so important. And I remember way back when I started my business in 2002, and I think for the first 3 years of my business, I did not have a bookkeeper. And boy, was my stuff messed up, let me tell you, because I'm not an accountant, I'm not a business bookkeeper. I don't really like to manage all that. Now, I think I saved all the receipts, so they were in a shoebox, like they probably
Sure.
tell you, right? And it was funny because I worked out of my home, and I was married at the time to my starter husband, and I'm like, I got to get this stuff cleaned up because we were trying to do our own taxes even at that point, which I don't even touch anymore. But then, so my mom was like an experienced financial person. She used to work in banks and do bookkeeping and things like that. And I said, Mom, can you come over and kind of work on my bookkeeping? And she did, and she cleaned it all up, 3 years of mess, right? And then she said to me, I will never forget these words, I am not coming back. You need to hire a bookkeeper.
Exactly. That's correct. And so what happens is many business owners succeed almost in spite of themselves because they know their business end, but are they always making the best decision?
Yes.
They may be making the second, third, or fourth, or fifth best decision, but are they making the best decision? And the way I like to explain this is take the guy disarming a bomb. He doesn't want to make the second best decision.
No.
And if he knew the yellow wire was the one he was supposed to cut, but he cut the green one, it's not good. So don't let your business blow up on you. Make the best decision. And
Right.
we help you get that information, because it really is about information. Without the information, you're guessing.
Well, not only that, but yes, most of us can learn QuickBooks. We can learn all these little programs to a certain extent, right? But we still don't always know the ins and outs and the nitty gritty of things that can show us better reporting and forecasting and financial documents that are going to affect our bottom line and or our decision making in our businesses. So it's really critical that you get someone like yourself to help analyze the numbers and analyze the details and then give you what you need. So, I mean, I always tell my bookkeeper and my CPA, I'm like, I only want to see this, this, and this. You know, if you could show me these things and nothing else, I'm good, right? Because I don't want to know what I don't want to know. And so, yeah, you got to be clear on what you know, and then have a partner like yourself who does this for you. So you've been doing this with small business owners for how long now?
Well, I've been using QuickBooks since 1991. It came out in 1990, so I am an expert there. But I've been doing bookkeeping, accounting really my whole career, but for customers for the last 20 years.
Oh, that's
and a good example of what you're talking about is that most people can tell you what they spent on any marketing campaign, or at least how much they spent with each person, because it's in the vendor file.
Yeah.
Unless you know how much revenue it generated, it doesn't really help you. You only have half the numbers you need to figure that out.
Yes.
There's a hack in QuickBooks that in 15 to 20 minutes you can set it up to get the revenue figures down the road.
That's awesome. So there's a lot of bookkeepers and there's a lot of accountants and CPAs and people who do taxes in Placer County and around the area. And I know you guys have been in this area forever and ever and ever, you and your wife, Janice. And so what really sets you apart?
Well, I think it's that piece of getting information. Many of the bookkeepers and things don't understand it because they haven't been in the higher management levels of accounting. And your CPAs are focused on doing taxes and don't always spend time with the majority of their clients. Their top 5 or 10 clients are getting that time and information, but the average guy that's doing $1 million or $2 million in sales is probably not doing that. Large corporations have whole departments to get them the answers to the 5 business questions every business owner should be able to answer, and most can't.
Yeah.
And so that's what sets me apart, is I help them get the information that then helps them get better results so they're more profitable.
That's awesome. And what do you think, if someone's just thinking about hiring a bookkeeper, an accountant, or somebody to do their taxes, what's the first thing they need to be thinking about in regards to that kind of stuff?
Well, it's nice to have somebody that's detailed, but really what you want is somebody that understands business and the business end of it. Because it's fine to do the bookkeeping, you want it accurate, but you want somebody that can give you advice and can help you. One of the things I look at is many small businesses that are set up as S corporations are paying too much in Social Security and Medicare tax because they haven't set up the right numbers, if you will, for salary and for what's passive income. And so I really think they need to ask some questions. What's their experience? Do they have any background in that? And I was a former CFO of a small public company, and that's why I've got this.
That's so important. And it's good that you clarified the difference, because sometimes people say, well, I need a bookkeeper, and they're really thinking they need someone to handle their taxes or their accounting, or they say I need a CPA, but they really need a bookkeeper, you know? And I think it depends where you are and what your immediate need is. If it's the end of the year, then you might need a bookkeeper to clean up your stuff so that you can give it to the tax person.
Exactly.
Right? If it's the beginning of the year, then you better be scrambling pretty fast.
Right.
If it's in the middle of the year, maybe it's someone for tax planning or financial planning in some way, right?
Exactly. I had one company that he had a very good salary coming from the company, but he had a very small profit, which meant he probably paid $7,000 to $8,000 more in Social Security Medicare tax that he needed to, because he didn't sit down with his accountant and find out he needed to drop the salary at the last 3 or 4 months of the year.
Yeah. So what else, what are one of the biggest mistakes you see entrepreneurs making in regards to keeping track of their expenses? Because I see that a lot with clients.
Yeah, many of them are keeping pretty good track of them, but they're not always classifying them properly. So you want to be able to get some metrics. Google has been good at convincing people they need metrics for their website and for these things, but you need metrics in your business also. And part of that is to know what your margins are. Are you hitting those margins? What do other companies your size have for payroll costs? And are you in line with that? Things like this that really somebody that has that kind of expertise can help you get. So if you found out that everybody else had a margin of 50%, and you only have 40%, then you know you've got to work on your pricing or your purchasing and whether the cost is there. So
that's a good point. Now, how do you really know if someone has experience in bookkeeping or what they say? You know, I mean, is there certain things to look for?
Well, first of all, many of the business owners don't know the questions to ask because they don't know what's important. Most business owners can't tell you, they can tell you what their product mix is kind of, but they may not even know the exact percentages. But they don't know the difference between margin and markup. And one of the good questions is to ask your bookkeeper, do you know what's the difference between margin and markup? And if they can't explain it, then they probably don't understand it either. Another one is the difference between cash accounting and accrual accounting. There is a difference and a good time for each one. And if they can't explain the difference, then they don't have the expertise really to do it.
That's a good point. That's something good to know. And I always say when people are hiring like a web designer or something, if your web designer doesn't know about opt-in boxes, then run far from them because they're not thinking about lead generation for your business. So that's a good point that you made. You know, you don't want to hire the wrong person to handle your bookkeeping, your finances, anything to do with your business if you can help it. I know we can't always help it, you know. So tell us what you like to do in our community. What are some of the things maybe you give back in doing, or what you're involved in? What are some of the organizations you're involved in with you and your wife?
Sure. Well, we love the Placer County area. I serve all of Greater Sacramento, but we have an emphasis on the Placer County area. One, because we love it.
Yeah.
We're fairly active in Roseville and things. We've gone to the networking that you and Eric put on out there, and I know you have a meeting tonight. So we like the people, we like the businesses there. It's a growing area.
Yeah. And so, but you're members of the chambers and all that kind of thing. Like how much, I know I see you a lot, and your wife's a huge networker. We know Janice very well, and I know you like, so what kinds of organizations do you participate in as a couple or yourself? Well,
both. We are involved in chambers, as you said. Janice runs a couple of networking groups herself, one in Citrus Heights. We do like to go to community events, both in Placer County and throughout Sacramento. We're active in our church and things. So we try and really have a well-rounded thing, not concentrating on one particular area.
Sure. What church do you belong to?
It's Capital City Church in Rancho Cordova.
Okay, cool. And so what kinds of things are in store for you moving forward in the next couple of years? What are you focusing on in your business and or your life?
Well, that's a great question, because I really have this vision long term. So through CEO Space and Janice is president of a club here, we've increased 41 new clients this year.
Wow.
I see that going forward to next year. My long-term thing is I ask 5 questions of business owners. Most of them can't answer them.
Oh.
I want to develop that in a program that would run on top of QuickBooks, that would be a subscription base to do that. So the cost is fairly low, other than maybe some setup cost, and they would get the answers to these questions on an ongoing basis. And some of it is the ongoing basis, because the trends can tell you more than the actual numbers by themselves. It's nice to know you had a 50% margin, but if that's a one-time thing. What's that mean? If you could see that you went from 50 to 52 to 54, you know you're going in the right direction. So that's my long-term thing, but that's a big project, probably 3 or 4 years down the road. Right now, we're concentrating on adding staff, growing our business, and serving more clients.
I love that. I love that. And you're doing pretty good on video too. Do you do a lot of video in your?
Well, no, but we just did a speaking class, and they found out I had done karaoke shows, so I ended up singing the song. But I'm not uncomfortable in front of people or in front of a mic. But yeah, so that's probably it.
Which is very unlike CPAs and bookkeepers. Usually they like to be behind the computer without the video on.
Exactly.
So
no, I actually am a little bit of a ham, so I enjoy it.
It's a very unique quality that you have there, Michael. And yes, so you mentioned karaoke. So this show is all about community involvement, and it's not just about business. It's about personal. So we love to hear the little juicy stuff. So tell us what you sing, Michael. What do you do with the karaoke? Come on.
Well, I do a real cross section, but I love Elvis. Mac the Knife is one of my favorite songs. There's just a whole lot of things, but I like country, almost anything but rap.
I'm with you on that.
Well, I'm kind of like Bruce Willis in The Last Boy Scout. He said when they were beating him up, if you want to hear me scream, play a little rap. And I like some of it, but I don't sing it. It's way beyond what I can do.
Okay, I don't suppose I could get you to sing a few bars, huh?
Of what?
Of Elvis or something.
Oh, sure. Wise men say only fools rush in.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Great job. Hey, you never know what's going to happen on the Placer County People podcast. We've got Elvis in the house. That's pretty good. Seriously. Yeah. And so you want to tell everybody where you do karaoke in case they want to check you out or come join you?
Well, I built one of the largest karaoke companies in the whole U.S. In this late 90s, early 2000s, I had 60 to 65 shows a week here in Sacramento.
Yeah, you run the show, right?
Years. I ran the shows. Because of the bookkeeping and accounting, that's where I really make my living. I can't do that anymore. It's too many late nights. I was younger then.
Right. Oh, that's so fun though. But do you do it so you just go to shows now?
I just go to shows. I do some private stuff and I do some entertaining, but for the most part, when I get the hankering, we just go out to a local show here.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to just show up somewhere and do it.
And then I don't have to stay till 2. I can leave at 11.
Yeah. Well, 11's past my bedtime, so I don't know.
Well, it is for most of us, except occasionally.
Very cool. Well, this is fun getting to know you, Michael.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there any last piece of advice that you might give the other small business owners out there?
Well, now is the time to start pulling things together. A lot of people wait until after the first year, but if you get a jump on it now, you can find out where there might be areas that you need to do. There's still December. I know some businesses that will really not do collections, but they don't push their collections as much in December because the money received then is taxable this year. Mm-hmm. Or they'll prepay insurance, taxes, some of the things that you can prepay to get the deduction. So now is the time to be meeting with your tax person or your accountant and finding out, are there some things you can do to save yourself some dollars on taxes this year?
Right. And of course, this is being recorded at the end of the year, but this is good advice any time of the year whatsoever. You want to get your stuff in order because you don't want to be in chaos, because you certainly, if you get audited, you're in chaos, it's going to be a nightmare. So
it is. And really, businesses run on information. And if you don't have your stuff together, the information is really jumbled and you're just guessing. Yeah.
So I'd love to share your website with people. It's insightfulbusinessservices.com. So insightfulbusinessservices.com.
Yeah.
And I'm on there right now. And boy, there's a plethora of information. You've got classes and services and marketing, and you're a speaker. And there's a lot of different information for the small business owner there and ways to contact you. So that's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
The only confusing part is there's 3 S's there. because of business and services. And
Yeah.
some people miss that. So don't
Make
miss
sure you spell it right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's why I said it slow. So, well, good. Well, thank you for being on the show with us today.
Thank you.
I loved having you, and loved sharing your wisdom with everybody else that's watching and listening. And yeah, thank you so much.
We look forward to all of these.
So, Placer County People podcast, you guys, I want to remind you to go to placercountypeople.com to check out how you can be a guest on this podcast, either with myself on video like this or via audio with Eric Lofholm, my partner. And don't forget, we have monthly live networking events in Placer County, and you can go to the website to find out the details of where those are and how you can join us, and they're absolutely free. We even supply some appetizers for you for free. So come on out once a month. If you go to placercountypeople.com, you can find all the details. And then as far as what I can do, if you are a business owner or you want to be a business owner, you definitely want to check out my website, because I have a ton of free information for small business owners to help you jumpstart your business, your marketing, your websites, your profits, and stop working so hard, how to make it easier to make more money doing what you love. And that's what I love to help people do. Plus, boy, do I have a lot of books. I love to help people get published, become a speaker, do all kinds of fun things, run your own podcast. So come and see me at jumpstartyourmarketing.com, or find me on all kinds of social media sites, as well as Michael. I bet you're on some social media, right? Which ones?
I am. Facebook, LinkedIn, Lineable, a lot of them.
Okay, great. So you can find Michael online. You can go to his website at insightfulbusinessservices.com. And we'll see you next time on Placer County People Podcast.
Thank you for having me.